So before I dive into the fabric of this video, right, the theme, which is unworthiness, I'm going to preface it and go way back to childhood. Nobody's childhood specifically, but just looking at how childhood shapes a person, because it does. I mean, there are things that I still do that are actually from childhood, right? Things that are even unhealthy, right? I'm not going to talk about what they are in this video, but what I am going to talk about in this video is the learning of a belief of unworthiness, and then how that is consistently reinforced throughout a person's life. Ultimately, not to hurt myself or anything, but, like unworthiness, right? And then you're kind of just like slapped into that channel, right? You're slapped into that channel, and then you're tuned to that station, and that just consistently remains reinforced for you through unhealthy objects that are familiar, right? And what's fascinating is that I could actually end the video right there, because that is the foundation of what this is all about. But I'm going to go into it, and I'm just going to explore a little more, because I think that it's important to just really look at the fabric of the matrix that's really going on here, right? Unworthiness. It's a belief, right? It's not a reality. Nobody's actually unworthy. So let me just say this, because I think that this is really fascinating, right? Is anybody actually unworthy? Right? Now, I'm not talking about people that are, like, actually, like, sincerely fucked up and, like, intentionally do fucked up things to other people, right? I'm talking about the people that learned a belief of unworthiness from a very early age for whatever reason, right? And they went on in their life to then continue to be attracted to objects that reinforce their belief of unworthiness, right? And so, like, I look at it, right? And I look at generational trauma, right? Say, for instance, this person is told by their mother that they're a worthless piece of shit, right? So they learn that belief of unworthiness, right? This person has a child. This person teaches their child the same thing. This person, which is this person's child, this person has a child, and this person teaches their child the same fucking thing. It's generational, right? Are any of these people actually unworthy? Or are they all just teaching their offspring the same fucking thing over and over again? I look at unworthiness, and I really just like to get to the root of everything rather than focusing on the symptoms. Oh, we'll just do this differently. No, heal your fucking well. There's poison in your well, and that's what's fucking up your faucet, right? Get to the root cause of everything, right? So, I look at the generational stuff, and I'm like, well, nobody's actually unworthy, right? They all just learned the same fucking belief over and over again from all of their, ancestors, that they were unworthy. Does that actually make them unworthy? No. It actually, to me, it just spells, oh, wow, you didn't become aware of yourself and do the fucking work, right? Which, when you do the work, it really does change everything, because I'm actually doing the work on myself right now to heal a lot of things. And I'm not going to say what those things are, but what I am going to say is that doing the work to heal, becoming aware of myself, becoming aware of what fucked me up, becoming aware of my fucked upness, I'm a huge believer in awareness is like 90% of transformation, right? When you become aware of something, you shine a light on it. If there's something there that is unhealthy or unfavorable, I mean, to just leave it there, why would you do that, right? I mean, maybe it might be painful to deal with, right? And you can figure out a way to deal with it at some point, right? But really, I think that in general, people that had beliefs of unworthiness projected on them by other people who felt unworthy, from other people who felt unworthy, from other people who felt unworthy, from other people, it's just the same fucking thing over and over again, right? The difference is some people do the work to shine that light of awareness and see it for what it is and be like, oh, wow, this came from somebody else. This is not mine. What the fuck do I do with it? Well, I heal, and I realize that it's not mine, right? If somebody gives you a gift and the gift is unfavorable, we'll just use that as a metaphor for a projection, right? And you don't really want it, you just give it back, right? And then you realize that it was an illusion the entire time, and whatever beliefs of unworthiness that you carried around were never yours, right? But let's talk about, so that's the generational side of things, right? Let's talk about when you hold a belief that you are unworthy, right? Your environment is going to consistently reinforce that because you're not doing anything to change it, right? If you wake up one day and something slaps you across the face, not actually, but like spiritually or psychologically, or you have an awakening, right? And you're like, oh my God, I'm not unworthy. Holy shit, right? Are you going to continue to put yourself back in environments with objects being people, that reinforce that same belief of unworthiness, right? Are you going to go to Uncle, I don't know, Uncle whoever the fuck? It's gonna be whoever the fuck, because they're not gonna look familiar anymore. They're gonna be like, oh wait, you were the person with the fucking beliefs of unworthiness and you tried to give that to me. Fuck that shit, right? So, are you actually unworthy? No. Look where it came from. It came from somewhere, right? But if you remain unaware of that, you are likely to continue to put yourself in situations and environments with people, objects that are unhealthy and that do actually reinforce your belief of unworthiness. Because really what it is it has to do with many things, but I'm going to simplify it to health of a person. When I say health, I mean mental, emotional, psychological. And this really comes down to emotional maturity and boundaries, right? Somebody gave you a belief of unworthiness because they held a belief of unworthiness. So they just passed it on to you, and then you were like, unworthiness, oh shit, I am an unworthy human. No, you're not. You just learned a belief from somebody else that you were unworthy, and you continue to carry around this idea that you're unworthy, and you continue to place yourself in situations and environments with people and objects that are unhealthy, that don't have healthy boundaries, obviously, that reinforce that belief of unworthiness in you, right? This is very simple. And I understand that some people might look at it and be like, well, no, some people are unworthy. I mean, you can believe that if you want to. And again, by the way, I'm specifically talking about people that have good intentions. They want good for them. But all that happened was that an idea, a belief of unworthiness was projected onto them, like that fucking hot potato of unworthiness as a belief that their fucking parent or grandparent passed on to them because it was too fucking hot to carry around, so they gave it to you, right? And now you're carrying around the hot fucking potato of unworthiness, and you don't know what to do with it, and you just continue to carry it around. This is me, guys. This is me. I'm unworthy. Reinforce it so that it feels familiar, because I know that I'm unworthy because somebody told me that I'm unworthy, and I don't realize that I am actually not unworthy. I'm actually very worthy, but I didn't individuate or differentiate, and I don't have healthy boundaries, so I just take on everything that everyone else gives me, even if it sucks, even if I don't like it. Yeah. No, drop that shit. You're not unworthy. But when your environment consistently reinforces that, it's likely because they are not healthy. They don't have healthy boundaries, right? It's just fascinating. This whole thing of unworthiness, with everything that I've learned about unworthiness, with everything that I have learned about unworthiness, there we go. Thank you, Chris. It's a fucking illusion. It's not real. And I'm not here to invalidate anything because, for fuck's sake, the experience, the feeling of unworthiness is fucking real. And by golly, it fucking attracts, just like everything else. If you believe that you are unworthy, you are going to attract people into your life that reinforce your belief of unworthiness. Why? Because you don't respect yourself. Why? Because you learned that belief. How are they going to approach you? They don't respect you because you're not worthy of being respected. People that feel a certain way attract people that feel a similar certain way, right? If you feel great about yourself in a healthy way, you're going to attract people that feel great about themselves in a healthy way. If you don't feel good about yourself, right, obviously unhealthy, you're going to attract people that don't feel good about themselves and are going to treat you accordingly. I have had people in my life that have treated me like shit. I'm not going to name any names, right? That was, however, back during a time when I didn't feel good about myself. And by the way, I'm getting better. I am doing the work. I'm learning to see myself for who I am. I'm learning self-love and all that stuff. But for the most part, I attract based on how I feel. And unworthiness, I will say it again, unworthiness is a fucking illusion. See it for what it is and understand exactly where it came from.